Hey guys, Poro here with another MSI 2023 video, again with more bracket stage predictions at MSI. This video will cover JDG vs T1, a Worlds 2022 semifinals rematch. Since I already went over the teams and their player breakdowns in each prior prediction video, this will be a shorter one where I just go over what the recent series was like and who I think will take the match. I'll go over JDG first, who, as we talked about in the BLG vs G2 prediction video, defeated BLG in 3 straight games off the back of some excellent team fighting. In that video, I mentioned specifically that it was an ADC gap, and that Ruler simply played the teamfights better than Elk. In this video though, I also want to bring attention to how well Knight played, especially in games 1 and 3 on the Ahri and Syndra. The Syndra performance especially was one of the best I've seen internationally in a while. However, game 2 of that series brings a few question marks to JDG, as they were 5k in the hole with a comp that should be strong early, and were forced to outplay and teamfight their way back in after an overextension mid that cost them 4 members. If JDG had made that same mistake against one of the LCK teams, they likely would not have won that game 2. We also already touched on T1 series versus Gen G in the Gen G versus C9 prediction video, and that series did go to 5 games, but anyone watching the series would have told you that T1 essentially won 4 of them. Game 3 was one of the weirdest ending sequences I've ever seen in pro play, as T1 proceeded to win the game, and then not win the game, and then lose. Games 1, 2, and 5 were just stomps in T1's favor, but Game 4 did show off some of T1's weaknesses, as they in turn got thrashed by Gen G off the back of a strong performance from Pays. Speaking of ADCs, it should be noted that Gumayusi has been popping off just as hard as Ruler has been, and both teams seem excellent at defending their ADC in teamfights. So, how do these teams stack up? Well, it's definitely going to be a banger series. Both teams have insane rosters with players on both sides stepping up big time in this tournament. We finally get to see Knight vs Faker after being blue-balled for years, and of course the rematch between Ruler and Gumayusi, both of which look insane right now. Ruler was the better ADC in 2022, but Guma was the better ADC in 2021 back when Jinx Aphelios was the meta, so it's hard to say who will take the upper hand there. Zeus has been sidelined to tanks lately, but 369 is the tank versus tank matchup god, so I think JDG has the edge there. What I'm really hoping for here is that both teams get out of early game equally, and we'll get to see who's the better teamfighting team. However, there's a couple things to keep in mind here. While JDG does have a new roster, they did lose their last series to T1 in 3-1 fashion. The LCK also dominated the LPL in Worlds 2022, and we have yet to see an LCK versus LPL matchup this MSI to turn that narrative around. I still think JDG is suffering a bit from their roster not having the time to fully synergize yet, whereas this T1 roster has been around for a few splits now. It's also not a finals match yet, which means T1 won't choke. I've got T1 taking this one with 60 to 40 odds, and I do think JDG has a better shot at winning this series than they did in their last meeting. That's all I've got for this one, and I'll see you with more predictions later. Bye!